Pop quiz before we get started.
Oh, God.
Where are all the books I read this year?
That was your... No, hold on, let me look at it. Yeah, that's what this tree was for, right?
Yes.
Okay. I built... Because I put it together? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You put everything together.
Well.
Hi. Welcome to the video. This is a video like I did last year, and it features someone special. My boyfriend.
That's me.
Yeah.
I built the bookshelf that we're using
All
for
of them.
Well, I guess, yeah, but I also built the one for the bookshelf that we're using for the video, which I'm blocking.
So what are we doing in this video?
I'm guessing your top X books for the year, I'm assuming.
Yes. So I made a list of my top 10 books. I do have top 5 and then the other 5.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can get any 5 of the 10,
okay,
you get credit.
I get credit. What do I get to spend that credit on?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
No.
All right.
You just if you can't get top 5, but you get like number 10 or whatever, like that, you know, it
Well, then
counts.
can we say that I win? Because I feel
Sure.
like, okay, because that gives me more motivation.
This year, he has it a little easier because I have a bookcase that I've been keeping all of my reads this year on. Normally, I have it behind my reading chair if you've watched any of my other videos, but we moved it into this nice background for this video. So these are all the physical books I read this year. And then I have a list on my phone with the audio and ebooks that I read this year because there are those on the list. There are books I don't have physical copies of that are on my favorites list. So I have a list of all of those because I read, I think, 28 ebooks and 46 audiobooks, 45. So all of those are on a list on my phone.
So really, like, the majority of the books that you read are not physical?
The majority of the books I read are not physical, but the majority of my top 10 are.
Do I get a ratio, or is that too?
No. I will say that on my top 10, there are 2 series. So I picked one book of the series. So if you can get the series, I'll also give you...
Okay, I get a point if I choose any book in that series.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like that's fair. Also, no rereads are in the top 10. It has to be the first time I read it this year to be in the top 10.
What was the last video? What did we do with the last video that I was in?
The very last video you were in was you synopsizing books I've read.
Okay, that video is going to throw me off to this video, I think.
All right, so do you want to start looking at these, or do you want to start with...
Okay, well, I actually have a little bit of a cheat code this year, and that's because I think that 2 of the books that are in your top... I don't know if you would put both in the top 5, but The Martian and Project Hail Mary are definitely both top 10, I think, because you talked a lot about how much you like them, and I also recommended both of them to her. So I feel like this counts for double points for me personally, so I'm going to add the top 2 of those. My guess, though, is that Project Hail Mary is in the top 5, and The Martian is in the top 10. And I'm going to even lock in further. I'm going to say Project Hail Mary.
I don't have them in order.
Oh.
I just have 5 and then other 5.
Okay, but those are my guesses.
It was hard enough narrowing it down that much.
My guess is Hail Mary, top 5, Martian, top 10.
So do you want to do 2 piles to see if
yeah.
If you want to aim for all 10, you can.
Yeah, I'll do that, but okay.
So let me know what you want on this
list.
That's
the nodding book, so that one's definitely not in the top 10. Not in the top 10. Never mind. Is this the series that you read and you were surprised how raunchy the series was? Was that the one?
I don't know if I should answer that.
I feel like you can. If you don't answer questions about the books, you don't have to tell me whether you like them or not. But if I'm like, is this the book where you thought blank? I feel like that's, as long as I'm not like, is this the book that you said that is probably in your top 10 for the year?
Fine. Yeah, that's that one.
Okay. Oh, no. I can't. I don't remember. So there's a lot of the YA romantasy because you were really in it this year, and they're all...
I didn't read that many.
I can't remember. It's weird because Powerless you started reading this year or last year?
Last year.
Last year.
No, I can't tell you. Books from that series came out this year. I can't tell you what's what.
Okay. I'm going to put in, because I feel like, I don't even remember if necessarily you liked it that much. You did like it, but I don't remember if It's just that I remember a lot about the Powerless series. Is that the one that I'm always like, well, in Powerless, this happens. That is that series, right? And I did that a lot in the last video. So because I remember it, I'm assuming it means you talked about it a lot. So I'm hoping that this is... I don't know if this book... Can I...
You can take stuff back out.
You can... I mean, I could get this information just by looking at it. Is this the only book in the series that came out this year? Or were there multiple entries? Okay. I'm going to put this one... for now in top 5, but it might move because it might not be that specific book, but that's honestly just kind of guesswork.
Honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I might change one of my answers.
Well, as long as you don't tell me in advance, I guess. So like I said, I'm struggling right now because I'm assuming that at least a couple of the like YA romantasy series made it in here, and I can't remember if it was like Divine Rivals or if it was Fourth Wing.
So remember we did this video last year?
Yes.
Do you remember any of the books from last year?
I don't remember. I feel like I should have. I knew we were doing this. I should have watched last year's video.
If I knew we were doing this, I told him he was going to be in a video today, and he could probably guess what it was, but I wasn't saying what it was.
Yeah, well, I figured it out pretty quick. But I think because did you start reading Fourth Wing last year? Okay, so I'm thinking that you wouldn't. Because of the series tip you gave me at the beginning, I don't know that a singular Fourth Wing book would make it in. But because you said series and Divine Rivals, which is the first in that series, is on the shelf, which means you started that series this year, I'm going... Does it? Because that's the first book in the series, right?
Yeah.
And you read... Oh, but you had rereads. Are rereads on the shelf?
If I reread it physically, I put it on the shelf as a read this year. Oh, same thing for the audiobook.
That's tricky. That's tricky.
Because it's just all the books I read.
Well, that's hard because does that mean that if you had a favorite book of the year, is your top 10 for the year top 10 you read or top 10 that you read for the first time? Because that's an important...
Top 10 I read for the first time this year.
Okay. Because
anything I reread this year doesn't count as a top 10.
Unless...
Otherwise, 3 of them would be The Hunger Games.
But... if there is a reread in a series, it could be the new... Because I'm assuming for a lot of the rereads, it's because a new book came out or something like that.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily? Okay.
I mean, you know how I read...
My question is, was there a Divine Rivals released this year? I want to say there was, but I don't remember. Okay. And it's Ruthless Vows, I'm assuming. I'm going with Ruthless Vows. I'm putting it in... This bookshelf is scary, by the way.
It does better against a wall.
It's very forward heavy, so I'm scared. I'm in top 10 for now, but that could change. Okay, we're officially listing Heartstoppers as gay pick of the year. Okay. You love gay dudes, so that's... No, actually, it's going to go in top 10. So I'm at 5 so far, so I'm halfway, so let me switch over to...
I don't know, I feel like I need to rethink my list. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I don't know if I agree with the list I made.
I don't know, I think maybe I'm picking choices, and she's like, I think that one is in the top 5. So that makes me feel like I'm picking picks.
Not necessarily.
And you're like... I feel like I'm going to not get as many points, but I feel like it's going to be because my top 10 list is actually better than your top 10 list. You know what I mean? Not better, but like as in, I feel like you're going to agree with my top 10 list more than your top 10 list.
It's just, I have so many favorites from this year, it's more than 10 is the problem.
I know it's not Bridgerton.
No.
Yeah. Oh, are you counting Daisy Jones and the Six?
You haven't asked to look at the other list yet.
Okay, let me see the other list.
This is all This is all of the audiobooks and ebooks I read.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay, it's not Shatter Me. It's not any of the blank me books. All 47 of them. So I might have to ask for a lot of these if you read it for the first time this year.
See, last year I wouldn't help you with that. And last year you picked a lot of books I hadn't read last year.
I'm gonna say Daisy Jones and the Six. Oh, is Me Before You the first one? I'm gonna say Me Before You.
Which stack?
Top
Let me
5.
get post-it notes out.
Yeah, I would say top 5 for Me Before You. I'm gonna say honorary 11th choice. Forgive My Fins.
Wait, so Daisy Jones and the Six. What?
Mhm.
Which category?
How many have I got in top? I'm gonna say top 5. I don't know if that's true, but that's where I'm putting it for now. And then Me Before You is top 5.
What was the other one you said?
Out on a Limb, top 10. Oh, What? How many? I'm at 4 for each, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get 1 of each. Oh, that's one that I was thinking. Because you read all of the books relatively quickly, and you talked about them a lot. The Cinder series, but I don't know. That might be my last top 10 pick.
Do you want to pick a certain book from that series?
Cress. I feel like you talked a lot about Cress.
You're saying top 10?
I'm saying top 5.
Top 5.
And so I get one last top 10 pick. I'm going to say One Piece. I'm going to say One Piece as your last top 10. And I feel like you didn't have that on your top 10, but I feel like you're going to agree with me and give me the point anyways. Is that accurate? Well, hold on. Let me look at the list, do my reordering.
I'm still debating about changing my list.
Yeah, so how about I lock in my list, and instead of you just matching it to the list that you have, take a look at my picks, reconsider maybe, and maybe you'll be like, you know what, actually he's right about that.
The
you
problem
know what I mean?
is I didn't make my top 5 and top 10 lists until this morning, so I haven't had time to think about it. So now I have had a few hours, and I'm like,
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything? Let me take a look at the. Let me take a look at the bookshelf again to see if there's anything. So. I know you liked this book, or I don't know that you liked it. I just remember we made a lot of jokes about the cum ice cream, so maybe that's why that one is sticking out to me. Okay, I'm going to start off by saying I think I did way better this year.
Well, you also had it narrowed down this year.
Yeah.
Last year you picked books I didn't read last year.
Listen, it's hard, okay? So what I'm saying, your top 5 is something in the Powerless series that came out this year. Project Hail Mary. I'm gonna switch Daisy Jones and the Six and The Martian. I'm thinking I really am thinking that.
So you're saying Daisy Jones and the Six top 10?
Yes. Because if I remember, I don't remember, did you, because you don't rate things you listen to.
Yeah.
And I know you gave Project Hail Mary and The Martian, I know you gave them both 5s. So I'm going to lock in there. I think that's my one switch. And I think I actually kind of nailed it this year. I think I kind of killed it.
I'm still debating.
Oh, you don't even know what score I got yet.
Okay. I'm debating some of my top 10. My top 5 are locked in.
Okay, that's fair.
Because when I don't know, there's so many that I liked that it's so hard to pick.
And I feel like also if there's like a choice that I picked and you're debating whether or not it's in top 10, then I feel like I'm justified for picking it. I feel like that's a good pick by me then, you know what I mean?
Or you could have reminded me of something.
Exactly. Like One Piece?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
The problem is there's books that I really liked, but then there's books that have romance in them that romance just like I liked romance so much that if it's a book that didn't have romance in it, it gets kicked out because of the romance.
I see. Okay. I see.
I think I have my answers locked in.
Okay, are you locked in? Are you sure?
As sure as I can be when I've decided today.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so do you want to do top 5 first?
Do the top 10 first.
Top 10. So the 5 that are come after the 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where I had 2 changes.
Okay.
And I had not thought about Heartstopper before.
Okay.
But I really did love Heartstopper.
Okay.
I was giggling when I was reading it. I was
Yep.
telling him everything that was happening. I
Mhm.
really loved it.
So you see why I put it in top 10.
Yeah, so I did make that top 10.
What did you kick out for it?
That thriller I read as an ebook, The Cabin in the Woods. I
Okay.
really liked that.
I saw that one. I saw that one on the list, and I almost put it on the list.
That's my top thriller of the year. But
Oh, you didn't even get a thriller in the top 10. That's crazy.
yeah, because I kicked it out for
Yeah.
the romance.
Yeah. It's been a big romance year for you.
Okay, and then the number 2 in the Powerless
Okay,
series.
so I knew that there was something in the Powerless series, so I feel like you said that I'd get points for that.
Yeah.
Otherwise. Especially because a lot of times you read these like very much like back to back, especially like series and stuff. I don't know if you specifically did for those ones, but generally speaking, a lot of times for series you read them somewhat close to
So-
each other. So sometimes it's hard to remember which book in the series.
Powerless, I think came out last year. I read it last year, and then
Oh, because Powerful, that's like a novella, right?
Yes. So
if I remember that was the novella, I would not have picked it.
you can tell by how little it is.
That makes sense now that I think about it, but
Yeah, so this is a novella that came out in April, I think, that I thought was cute, but like she wrote this after writing the second book. So even though it
Mhm.
came before the second book, it didn't affect the second book. And
Yeah.
I think that's part of it. So, and then Reckless came out in July. And this is one that I added back into because
I see.
and before you talked about how much I talked about Powerless, I forgot how much I love
Yeah.
Kaden and Kai.
Yep, you talked about Powerless.
So I kicked out
a
a
lot.
different romantasy to put that in there.
Which one?
I had this.
Assassin's Blade. I was looking at that and I was remembering, but so was it you started the other one by her, that's A Court of Thorn and Roses, and you aren't as much into that one, right? Like you're not. Okay.
Not really at all.
I remembered you talking bad about. I kept looking at this one and being like, I really want to pick that, but I remember her talking about that author and being like, I don't like this that much. It's because it's the other series that you don't
so
like as much.
I just read Throne of Glass. I
Yeah.
finished that 2 days ago.
Yeah.
3 days ago. And I liked the prequel more than Throne of Glass just because her writing evolved, I think. So I did have this in top 10, but there's very little romance in it, and I think it's a bigger thing later in the series.
Okay.
But if I'm like I said, romance is like that made my top 10. So like I kicked this out because I like the romance in this better.
Okay.
Even
That
though the
makes sense.
plot line
Not
probably
as
was
much.
better in this one.
Okay. I can see that.
And then the other,
Okay, so far I'm 2 for 2, right?
well, you had said that there was a Powerless one in top 5. It's top 10.
It's top 10. Okay, so
And-
but I'm not doing bad so far.
This did not make the cut
Dang.
because while I enjoyed seeing
Mhm.
Iris and Roman more like again,
Mhm.
I didn't really like this book that much. Like their plot line was fine, but
Mhm.
everything else happening was just such a
Okay.
letdown from the first book
I remember
that I
you
wasn't a
talking
big
about
fan
that
of
now.
it. Yeah, but they were still cute.
Okay, but still 2 out of 3 at least on the top 10 so far is not bad.
Okay, so then the other 3 you had on there.
All 3?
Let me look and see. Okay, so he put Cress from the Blue Orchid Chronicles as top 5. I have it as top 10, but that is my favorite from the series.
Okay. All right, so still good.
So you did pretty good. You just put it in the wrong place. And I did put Daisy Jones in the 6, top 10.
Okay. All right.
And I put Me Before You, top 10.
Oh,
not
not
top
top
five.
5. Okay. Still though.
So yeah, you did pretty good.
I got everything
So-
in your everything that was in your top 5 or top 10, not top 5 was on my list.
Yes.
So, I've already won the game before getting in the into the top 5. I want to point out.
Yeah.
A lot more locked in this year.
Yeah. One Piece is nowhere, but it's an honorable mention.
Okay. That's fair.
Because
That's
I have
fair.
really enjoyed reading it, but it's not topping my romance
That's true.
reads. But
That's
I have
true.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So honorable mention, One Piece.
Yeah. I feel like I get half a point for that one.
Okay, so top 5.
Yeah.
Both of these are top 5.
They're bangers.
He got me to read The Martian in February. He picked
Yep.
my TBR. 5-star, loved it. And then because I liked this, I read the other book by him over the summer. Liked this one even more somehow.
Yeah, I literally read The Martian, and I had already read both of these, and I was like, thinking about it, I was like, she's gonna like Project Hail Mary more, but you already had The Martian.
Yeah, I owned The Martian but didn't own this, and I wanted to read books off my TBR in that video.
And I was like, I also thought about it. I was like, if I get her to read Project Hail Mary first, I don't think she's going to like The Martian as much.
And I think I agree with that.
And I think you still would have gotten through it and liked it, but I think I don't think you would have rated this a 5 if you had read this first. This would have been like a 4.5.
Because...
So it was like, if she reads The Martian first, then this is The Martian, but with even more stuff she's going to like.
Yeah, the characters in these are very similar, and they're, like, I really love the humor in these books. Like, it's very dry, witty. I don't know how you'd say it.
Yeah.
I really love the main characters, but this one had an element that was very heartfelt, is how I'll leave it, because I don't want to give anything away.
It's very good.
So both of these are top 5, and I did get his other book for Christmas, so I'm gonna read that soon.
Yes.
Okay, so here's where you didn't do as good. Well, Out on a Limb is top 5.
Okay, so I'm 8 out of the 9 that I've guessed so far, and so I'm guessing I missed 2 then.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know what you're gonna say when I tell you what they are.
Okay.
So the video he was talking about earlier, where he gave synopsis of some of my favorite books, we filmed 3 different videos and only 2 of them are out, but I think he talks about this in the 2 that are out, that I read a lot of books that are about the summer and that revolve around summer. And 2 of my top 5 do have summer in the title.
Oh, which 2 are they?
Just for the Summer and Summer Romance.
Yeah.
So holding these up, do you remember me reading them? Do you remember?
Okay, what's weird is that this one has the house in the background, but this is the one that is about the house, right?
Yeah.
I thought this one there was like a... Oh, wait, no.
I read a lot of books
that
take place during the summer.
Just for the Summer, is this the one where... No, because you didn't read that. The one where they both have the curse thing, that was last year, right? Or was that just for the summer? Okay, that's just for the summer. Okay, they both have the curse where when they date someone and then break up, that person goes and gets married. So they date each other, so the curse works on each other, and they go find some person they're going to marry. Of course, they end up with each other. This one is there are 2 writers, or...
That's Beach Read.
That's Beach Read? Okay. Oh, this is the one where he hires her to, like, clean a house or something?
Sort of.
And then she has to sell a house, or he says that he's selling a house, and then he ends up... Oh,
that's
sorry.
spoilers.
My bad. Take that back. There's a lot of real estate drama going on in this one. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so she's a single mom going through a divorce. She meets this guy. She is helping him clean out his house to sell his house.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, hey, we're going to have a fling for the summer. It's just for the summer. It's a summer romance. This is what he means.
Yeah, okay, and no judgment. I want to point out, no judgment at all. I feel validated and sometimes getting them a little mixed up.
Anyway, so these 2 are my top 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I read this one at the lake with your family.
Mm-hmm.
So I read almost all of it in one day. And then this was the one I read in that vlog where I was reading releases from this year. Okay. And I cried in bed alone. Oh. Because you weren't here.
Oh, yeah.
So you did do a lot better this year.
I mean, 8 out of 10 for top 10 is pretty good. And 3 out of the 5 for the top 5, specifically.
You didn't say Out on a Limb top 5. You said Out on a Limb top 10.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well... So I got 2 out of the 5 for the top 5. But 8 out of 10 overall.
From what I wrote down...
Really good.
He said Daisy Jones was top 10. It was. He said Me Before You was top 5. It's top 10. Which he did get right, that I like that book the best of the trilogy. Out on a Limb, top 10. It was actually top 5. Cress, he did get that right. That was my favorite of the 4.
Yes.
He said top 5. It was top 10. And he said One Piece was top 10, which it's not. But it's an honorable mention.
But it's, yeah.
So you actually did really, really well.
Yeah, I kind of killed it this year. I'm not going to lie. Definitely an improvement over last year. I did have the handicap of getting the list of books that you read this year and not just all the books you've ever read.
Yeah, I think this helps a lot.
Yeah, but honestly, like, I have a really hard time remembering when stuff happened. Like, something could have happened a week ago or, like, months ago, and to me, it's the same amount of time. Anything past like a week old is all exactly as old. So having the list for just this year was really helpful, because I think in that first video I struggled a lot with getting ones that you had read that year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which Divine Rivals I read last year, and the sequel came out this year. So then I read the sequel when it came out, and then I remember I annotated a copy and sent it to someone.
Yeah.
But I put my copy up here because I did add some of my annotations back into my copy that I put in their copy. So
that's cool.
That's why I kept the physical copy out. But yeah, you did really well.
Yeah.
I kind of thought you were gonna get at least one of those romance ones, though.
I think I just saw them, and my brain was just like, my reasoning is that like I didn't have reasoning, but I think what it was is that I probably saw those books and was like, I don't remember which one of those is which, so I would just kind of be guessing blankly. So I'd rather guess that a book that I actually remember like distinctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he did really well.
I killed it this year.
Again, I think he listened the same amount as last year. I think this just helped.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, he paid attention to 2 of my top 5s because he had read them.
Yes.
And he knew I liked Out on a Limb because I didn't put the physical copy on here, but he did give me a physical copy for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I have that off to the side because it's with my pile of Christmas presents.
I did pretty good this year. I don't know. I'm proud of myself this year.
No, you did really good.
Yeah. Ambush question. Name one video game I played this year?
You played the Indiana Jones one.
There we go. There you go. Do you know what it's called?
No.
It's got a very generic name. That's fine.
Is it Indiana Jones?
It's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Okay.
Yeah, the title could use some work. Good game though.
Well, I think that's it. He did a real. Don't bother her. She's sleeping.
She's awake now. Lily, what's your favorite book for the year?
She read most of them with me.
Meow. Wait, question. What was my favorite book of the year?
You read like 5. Oh, that's another thing we need to talk about. We have a reading challenge where every year we read books.
Wait, no. I want to point out, I definitely have. I'll give you the same thing. You can list one book in the series. What was my favorite this year?
You read the First Law trilogy.
There you go.
Or more than a trilogy.
Yeah,
right? That had spin-offs and
the
stuff.
trilogy, and then the sequel trilogy, and then I read one of the offshoot books.
Thank you for the kisses. Yeah, so we have this reading challenge where we've done the past 3 years, where he's like, I'm gonna read more than you, and I'm like, no, you're not. But it's a point system. So every 100 pages of a physical book is a point, and every 5 hours of an audiobook is a point. And I did sit down and added up all my points this morning because I haven't done it all year. So do you want to guess how many points I have, having read 118 books this year? I did not. 13 of that 18 was manga, and I did not count that as part of the reading challenge.
My guess, if you read an audiobook on 2 times speed, do you count the full hours?
I do, but I could only count my physical books and still beat you, probably.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
I'm still reading the book.
No, I know, but it feels like cheating.
Anyway, do you want to guess?
My guess, you said that your average length of book was like 360 pages?
Of the physical and ebooks I read.
Yeah, physical and ebooks. So I'm guessing that the average audiobook that you listened to was shorter than that. Yeah,
most audiobooks I listen to are 10 to 15 hours.
And your ratio was mostly audiobooks. So I'm thinking if physical and phone averages to 350, and we'll say audiobooks average 2 to 250 pages worked out, probably on average like a 10-hour audiobook. So that's 1 point. Right, because it's a point every 10 hours. Every 5.
That's how we changed it, remember?
Okay. So those audiobooks would be 2-point audiobooks for the most part. So we'll say with some room for error, like 125 points off audiobooks. And then we'll say that leads, and then 100 points per
100 points?
A point per 100 pages?
Yeah.
Okay. Point per 100 pages would leave, so 50 times 3, 150. No, that's not how that works at all.
3 points.
So 3.5.
300 page book.
Yeah, so that's your books averaged out to about 3 points times 50. Oh yeah, that is 150. So that would be 275 points.
268.
That's crazy. I kind of killed that.
I thought he was just going to say a number. I didn't know he was going to pull out all the math.
The math was pretty on point.
Yeah. You even have like 20 points.
Okay, I have probably 20 points.
Well, because here's the thing, is I'm triple digits in books, and he's barely double digits in books.
No, because the first Law trilogy, each of those books is at least 25. Like, I think they average 25 to 30 hours, and I read like 7 of those.
Okay.
So those are
6.
4 to
5,
6. Yeah, 4 to 6 a piece, and I read 7 of those, so that's like 30 points there.
Ooh.
Plus any physical books I read, plus all the other audiobooks I read. So I probably clocked in at like 70 or 80 points this year.
Still lost.
Well.
Okay, well, I just did all that math this morning, so I had to talk about it.
Yeah,
So.
I see.
All right.
Honestly, and I did the math off the top of my head, got pretty close anyways.
No, you did really good.
No.
Because that was just averaging. I had to sit there and look up every book.
Well, you know.
Anyway, that's the video. If you like us together, good thing, because we're dating. But also, he's been in other videos, so you should check those out. Yeah. All right. So, thanks for watching. Check out those other videos, and bye.
Bye.
Action. Hi. Welcome to another video. I feel so stupid. Hi. I hate my intro, but it's just how I do it now.
So you're not including me coming in, I just show up. I don't know, am I supposed to say something on my intro? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I feel like I just should maybe get one that's just, it's Matt Damon's face instead of my face. There you go.
No.
No, you don't like that one?
No. Okay, we're done.
He's a handsome man. Matt Damon, everybody. He didn't write the book. Oh, Jesus Christ. I almost just knocked it.
Okay.